Hey guys, it's Jeff with voiceapps.com. I wanted to show you a new feature that we've recently released that allows you to do some really cool things. It's a fairly simple feature, but it's really powerful and will allow you to do all kinds of things that you couldn't do before. To illustrate this new feature, I've got a guess the number skill open here, where Alexa will pick a number between 1 and 10, and then the player tries to guess the number. And if you're higher, it'll tell you you're higher. If you're lower, it'll tell you, that you're too low and kind of guide you to the answer. So right now, the way that works is we have a welcome intent here that just welcomes the user. And then we have a new game intent, and this is kind of where things happen. So on our data tab here, we've got a get random value function. So in order to pick the random number between 1 and 10, we needed to have a list of those numbers 1 through 10 in our get random value. And then get random value is actually going to pick one of those values. And it's going to assign it to this variable called target number, which then we use on the response. When the player guesses, it's going to use those values to determine what answer to give. So we have a when condition here on these three response groups. So you have when the target number is greater than the player guess, or when the target number is less than the player guess, or when the target number is equal to the player guess. And depending on those three conditions, when they're equal, obviously we're going to say you guessed it. The target number is less than the player guess, then we're going to say lower guess again. And if the target number is greater than the player guess, we're going to say higher guess again, and we're going to kind of guide them in there. So that's the way the skill works today before this new feature. We're going to modify this skill and make it a little simpler using this new feature. So the new feature, if I go back over here, on the new game intent and back to where we're getting this random value. Using this get random value function to pick a random number between 1 and 10 is a little clunky. We can improve that. So what we can do, and I'm going to leave that there for now, but we're up here in the set state block, the set state function. We're going to use that target number variable, the same target number variable that we were creating with the get random value. And we're going to use equals. And then this, we're going to use JavaScript. So now the new feature is that we can add JavaScript to our variable values. So when we're creating variables, we can actually assign them and execute JavaScript functions, built-in JavaScript functions. For those that don't know JavaScript or haven't programmed before, that's okay. There's a lot of resources out there on the internet. You can just Google it and find all kinds of resources for learning basic JavaScript functions. You're not going to be able to do everything with this feature that JavaScript has available, but you'll be able to do the basic functions. So what we're going to do here is use a little bit of JavaScript, and I'm going to do math.floor. And that floor function is actually going to take the lowest integer, and then we're going to say math.floor. And then we're going to do math.random, which is going to generate a random number between 0 and 1. And then we're going to multiply that by whatever the top end of our range is going to be. So in this case, we want to pick a number between 1 and 10. So math.random is going to create a random decimal between 0 and 1. And we're going to multiply that decimal by 10. So we're going to get a number between 0 and 9, but what we want is a number between 1 and 10. So what we're going to do here is put another parenthesis to close out the math.floor, and then we're going to do plus 1. So what we have here, kind of scroll back so you can see it all, we have math.floor, a function called math.floor, and that function is, inside that function, we're going to pass in math.random, which is going to generate, again, a number between 0 and 1. We're going to multiply that by 10, and then to the whole thing, we're going to add 1. So this, again, Google this and look up. You can read more about it. I will probably write an article on this as well. But this function here, this series of functions, is going to create a value between 1 and 10, which is the same thing that our getRandomValue is doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add here, and then I'm going to delete out our getRandomValue function because we no longer need it. So why is this so much better? Well, it's so much better because now I don't have to go in, if I want to make it a guessing game between 0 or between 1 and 100, I would have to go into the getRandom function and add 100 entries, 1 through 100, and then use getRandom. Where, with this, I can just go in and change the 10 and add a 0, and I'm done. So this is much better. You can do other JavaScript functions, as I said. You can do date functions. You can do math functions. You can do string manipulation. All kinds of different things that you can do in here. Again, it's not a full set of JavaScript functions, but it's a minimal set of functions. And again, we'll write an article that details this out. Okay, let's go ahead and test our skill and see how we've done. So I'll open up the test window here and click Start Skill.
Welcome to Guess the Number. I will choose a number between 1 and 10, and it's up to you to guess which number I've chosen. Okay, here we go. I've chosen a number between 1 and 10. What's your guess?
And I'll choose 5.
Higher. Guess again.
All right, it's telling me that it's higher. I'll guess 7.
Higher. Guess again.
All right, it's higher. Let's try 8.
Higher. Guess again.
It's even higher.
Higher. Guess again. You guessed it.
All right, it was 10 this time. Okay, so it looks like our new JavaScript function replacing our getRandom function is now working.
Okay, here we go.
We'll stop this. All right.
Goodbye for now.
Okay, so this was a quick video to show you our new feature where we can add JavaScript in our variables. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.